investors. The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi everyone, Basil Chapman here on this 1st of August, Monday. We're looking at the Dow up 85. They will just not stop, not complaining. We've been along the Dow since the low. But meantime, back at the ranch, you do expect some kind of I'll give you the scenario right now. The Dow is in leg D in the Chapman wave methodology, and I'll be doing a lot more on this because I've got my webinar coming up a week from Wednesday where I discuss Chapman wave techniques. But this particular webinar is going to focus very much on the techniques that I think in this particular mode where we're in the market, at least for the next many weeks in the summer, this is the modus operandi that we will be wanting. What kind of chart formations are we looking at? Why are we looking at them? Where are the support levels? What do we look for in terms of just simple? I want to make this as one of my simplest webinars I've ever given. We're going to look at just basically a few patterns, few moving averages. I'll have the others there, but I'll explain when to use them and when not to use them. Basically, it's going to be the core thing. And this is what I'm looking at. In the Chapman wave methodology, we try to find the lowest low bar. There's a whole bunch of techniques that go with that, and merely count each successively higher peaks after that. In the starting move, if it gets to a peak A and then pulls back and then starts a leg B, it's at about that point that you should be looking at the chances of going from a buy signal to a buy mode. The implication being simple. I mean, this is so many words. Look at the picture. The picture just tells it all. Come down sharply, you make a low, and then you start to make higher peaks. Alphabetized A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 higher peaks. It's at that fourth highest peak that means you've upgraded from a buy signal initially to a buy mode, with the implication being there should be at least 4 higher peaks. Where are we right now? We're in leg D in a buy mode. There are a bunch of techniques that are very simple. They put right there. MACD is good. Stochastics over 80% at 94%. That's fabulous. The unbalanced volumes are lagging, but it's acting well. 9 is way above the 14-period moving average. So it's at peak D that other things can happen. That's your objective, and then you use some other techniques. If it goes above that peak D, starts a leg E, that E can be an alternate count E/A, because you could have another Chapman wave instant buy signal right there, an instant restart that says you can go to 4 higher peaks. So what are we doing? We're looking at leg B in the weekly chart, leg D in the daily chart, and because we've gone just 2 points, 3 points above the high of last month, we've now started for the very first time in a while a new leg A to the upside in the monthly chart. And that was the question I had over the weekend. Where will you explain where we are in your technique, and especially since Monday is the start of a new month? Is there any change? Yes, there is a change, because for the very first time in a while, you've got a new leg A, a gray leg A. It's called gray because I haven't got any buy signal confirmation or anything in the monthly chart. That is a big deal. Wait a minute. S&P made a leg C on Friday, and that was at 4140.15. And today we've gone to 4138.86. We need to get to 4140.16 to extend this leg C. And my suspicion has been that when the S&P goes to its leg D and then a peak D, that's probably where the Dow is maybe at an E, or we'll go to the Qs in a moment. And we're waiting for a D before we get any sign that says there should be some kind of a pullback that is a little bit deeper than any of the pullbacks we've had lately. Okay? So where are we? We're in, I was hoping that while I was speaking, it would make that leg C extension. It hasn't yet. It will, I think. But we're looking at very strong action in the S&P up 6 after being down about 20. And it's at 4136.69. Q. I've been long the Qs, very aggressively long, actually, the QQQs for a while. And in fact, one of our positions there has given us about a 29%, maybe today's 30% gain in just a very short period. So this is leg D, and it's gone above the left side high of 314.46. You've seen me do this live over and over and over again. How many times have I said this lopsided cup called the gravy cup in the Chapman methodology is one of the techniques that has been formidable on the upside for a little while now. And because of it, we've gone above that left side, June the 1st high of 314.46, maybe it's June the 2nd or 3rd, and plummeted down to 269s, and here we are at 317. Wait a minute, 317.58. Yeah, very nice move to the upside. And this is a leg B. You can see we're about to get into the Chapman wave inside track repellents on another technique I'll be talking about in great detail. Oh, good. Let's see. So, all right, let me get back to that in a moment. We're looking at the IWM, and we're looking at 186.54, down 71 cents, lagging a little bit. It did make a peak D back in June, early part of June, pulled back very sharply. Now it's at 186.57. It needs to get to 187.74 to start a leg E, or unless it's today, it just continues leg D. This one's lagging a little bit, but in fact, it's quite a nice chart pattern. There's no question about that. Okay, now I need to get to the golds. Gold is up 6.5 at 1788. That's been a fabulous move from under 1700 to 1788 in 2 weeks. Nice move. If you look at the weekly chart, you say, ho, what's the big deal? It's done this before and then failed. No, there is a big deal here, because what you've got in chart patterns is, look, sneeze. I always have to wait for the show. Anytime I sneeze is during the show. Look at this leg C in the silver chart in a buy mode. And that's really important, because what it's saying is that for the very first time, you've got silver essentially just from this daily chart pattern, basically leading gold just pattern-wise. That's really important to me. At the same time as you finally got the dollar breaking key support at the 50-period, at the uptrend line. It's sitting right on the 50-period exponential moving average. Did you need the 50-period moving average for months? No. It went there close to there back in June, and then it made this expanding wedge formation and broke to the upside in one-to-one expansion. And 109.29 was the high on the 19th of July. And here we are at 105.46, 4 points. Big deal. It is a big deal. After such a spectacular move, you've got your pattern called the dreaded H in the Chapman wave methodology. We've gone under it. We've gone one-to-one to the downside from the arch formation. Daily chart is in a sell mode. Weekly chart hasn't even given a sell signal yet because it's been so powerful. So it says that in the shorter term, the dollar is very weak. The euro, in fact, has rallied some. And you remember the pattern I was talking about with the euro? I said this is one of my favorite patterns, the Chapman wave falling X breakout formations, actually almost a parallel chart, and it broke to the upside. I talked about it when we reached it. Basil Chapman. That's at 43. I'll be right back.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the market's open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hi, folks, we're back. Dow's down 16, S&P's down 1. This buying here. You remember, get to the end of the month and the beginning of the month, you got fun buying. So that's part of what we're looking at here. We're looking also at the euro. I've got Boeing showing here because Boeing, I guess the what is it saying that Dan Pat says? Federal Aviation Administration has approved the company's plan to allow 787 deliveries to restart. We've been waiting for this. I think this is really important in the overall economy, and just in many ways it's important. Doesn't mean that Boeing is going to go all the way back into the 300s. Well, we don't know. It's at 168 right now, up 9. This is very good. It's about to get to the 173 200 period exponential moving average. A lot of this has been anticipated. There's a chance of an instant restart. Yes, so this is F/B and not just a leg F. Weekly chart is a leg C. Stochastic's only at 59%. If it can get to 80%, that'll be really good. What we are looking at is Caterpillar. Look at this. These are the big cyclical stocks. Caterpillar down 2 3/4 today at 195.40. Had a spectacular run from the 168 area to almost 200. And these are good signs. U.S. Steel, fabulous run from the 16s to the 24s. I mean, this is really important. The SLX, which is the SLX is the steel ETF. This is the Van Eck Vector Steel ETF. Nice move up, like U.S. Steel looks the same. Very good move. Now, does it mean to say they're going to go to all-time highs? No, it just says this is really good because in this particular phase, now you want to start to see a recovery in the deep cyclicals. Lulu is a question right here. Did some research. Let's see. Hi, Basil. Thoughts on Lulu, please? After weekend research, I sold this week's 300 puts on the opening weakness while they're already wonderfully profitable. I'm thinking they're safe to expire worthless. Would you agree? Okay, let me just do this quickly. So it went to a peak B minus in the Chapman methodology in the daily chart. Then it restarted and went to peak A. That is also an A down there. Whoops, that is an A. Everything that you see below is an A. Then it goes to a B. Then it's another A. and then the whole thing overlaps, so that becomes C and a D. Yeah, I thought there's so many stocks going to D that this is the one as well. So I think that Lulu has turned the corner in the shorter term. My weekly chart says there's still a lot that needs to be done. I'm hearing about inventory, just an unbelievable amount of stock in the apparel area. I don't know how it affects Lulu because they are very specific, more athletic type wear. Lululemon, Athletica, sports and apparel. Yeah, so all I can say is on a daily basis, I agree. I see some strength, but I also see the chance that there's a strong between 310 and 315. There's a lot of resistance, and we could be seeing, I don't know how far you go out, but I do see that within the next week or two, there could be a digestive phase. But I'm looking also at the weekly chart that says at some point 322 should become a target to the upside, but it might take a little bit of a digestive phase. So that's the way we're looking at it now. I was on the EUR USD. This is the currency pair. Remember, in the Chapman methodology, as long as you can see the price and you can put, you don't have to put the technicals in. I was about to do a naked chart today. I'll do that tomorrow, just to show that it's chart patterns. You don't need anything if you know your patterns very well. And then everything else just helps you or tells you to be careful. So in this case, the euro, if it manages to get to that peak A high that was made on June the 20th, July the 20th? Yeah, at 1.027. And here we are, today's high is 1.02700. Oh, I forgot to tell you the 5 digits that come up. 0.27778. Okay, it needs a little bit more, and then it goes to a leg B. And that's the pattern that I'm looking at. That pattern says that if the euro, in this particular instance, I'm going to make this nice and thick, and then I'm going to get rid of it because I don't like to have messy charts. I'll make this nice and thick just for the moment. Let's make it nice and thick with a, there you are. And then I'm going to make it blue, okay, so you can see it blue. And then I'll make it pink for the Chapman wave, 1-to-1 extension from the trend line up. That's what you would expect. I'm very conservative in the beginning. Instead of 1.031, I go down to the low that was made in this particular candle right here. And then I go to the top. And where does it take me to? It takes me right to the Chapman wave. This is the first part of the inside track repellent zone. Let's give you the second one and make it green. These are techniques. See how quick I'm doing it here? These are techniques that we'll be discussing live when we do this on Wednesday a week in my all-day webinar from 9 to 2 o'clock. And as I say, I'm going to try my absolute best. I did that last time. I'm going to even whittle it away even more this time, so that you don't you're not overweighted by all the different if this and if that. I just want you to say, look, this is a Chapman wave. One of my techniques in the falling action, in this case, this is the channel formation, that if you see a price that takes out the resistance line and the technicals are improving, then you can see a 1-to-1 expansion. It's in the same number of bars, it's in the same angle, and it should take you to, and this is exactly, it's done it already, and I'll show you a conservative way of doing it. Today's high is 1.021. And if that works and you start to see the euro trading at about 1.29, 1.029 or 1.031, then you immediately take your pink line and you go to the trend line and you say, that's a lot. That's a lot. But that's the way I would do it. And that says 1.033 would be the target. But I'm not doing that now. You have to go one step at a time. And I'll show you how to do that. Looking at the USD JPY, because the dollar's pulling back, the yen has to be pulling back. And lo and behold, you've got yourself a peak D sell mode, peak G sell mode in the daily chart. And you've gone to a leg C to the downside, peak F potential in the weekly. And all of this says this could be a deeper consolidation for the dollar and the yen, Japanese yen, dollar yen currency pair, than we've seen in quite a while, especially if you take out the left side low on the 16th of June of 131.495. And right now we're at 132.066, down at minus 1.169. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is platinum. Platinum had a very nice rally. It's in leg C, working very hard, but definitely making higher highs and higher lows. that monthly resistance of 911 is going to be strong. You're at 898 right now, 911 round number high. I'll be watching this closely, but the technicals have absolutely improved, and this should try over the next week or two to get to the high that was made on the 29th of June at 933. Is that correct? No, it can't be. Yes, it is 933, and you're trading right now at 896, up 8.50. Wheat pulling back at 790 after that single leg A. Soybean pulling back quite sharply now, down 60 at 1408 in that peak A, maybe failure pattern. We'll see. And corn is pulling back as well. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, Dow's down 75, S&P's down 11. Target Digits, I'll talk about my upcoming webinar.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. Let me just get to this real quickly, the TLT, because this pertains to the next question that I have. The TLT is rallying. It's at 119.20, up $1.77. So what we do is the patterns that we're going to be looking at in great detail. And believe me, the coming August going into September, we're going to be full of these patterns, is that now that we've got the lopsided gravy cup formation, the TLT, and it's extending at the resistance area in the 119, 120 area, is it telling us that yields are actually coming down? Well, if that's the case, and if you look at the TNX.X, if you look at the 10-year yield, it's making lower lows. It's in leg F in the daily chart after the dreaded H pattern. This is the inverted, that arch formation. And it's come down sharply. And then it makes this cup formation. And that just basically says that you've got to be looking at the left side lows because it's empty. There isn't support until you get to the yield is at 26.06 right now, 2.606. There isn't really support until you get into the 23 to 22 area, 2.3 to 2.2. I can't believe it. That doesn't mean to say it couldn't find support. I'm just saying left side in the context of print. We don't have prints that make troughs at that level, so you have to wait a while. But then that affects, empirically, it affects the S&P Select Financial Spider Fund because besides other things, the financials usually prefer to see yields going higher, except when the yields were screaming to the upside. That's when the XLF had its biggest turn down, most recent turn down in June, going to the July lows. So that tells me, remember, I've made a big deal over the last, and I'll be talking about this in my webinar. Try to separate. There are always times where you got this inversion. For instance, when it used to be traditionally when the dollar ran up, gold pulled back. When gold ran up, dollar pulled back. And there was this inversion, not the same proportion, but the directional aspect is what we were looking at. When the market ran up, the VIX pulled back. Well, for a while, the VIX has been pretty high. So I've said, try to think of Dolly. You got the dollar for dollar, for the D. You've got B for Bondy, and you've got G for Goldie, and you've got C for oily, or crude oil, or O for oily, and you've got V for VIXY. Try to think of them separately. Do your homework as separate entities. So now we're going to go to that question that says, Basil, I'm thinking of, could you look at JP Morgan? Because I'm thinking of buying the August 117 calls. So now I'm saying, think of these separately. The JP Morgan chart, having made a high up in the 170s, back in, I think it was, let me just give you the exact, I used to have that exact figure, but I'll do it again. Right there. Back in October, was it? Yeah, October, the high was 172.96. May as well just type that in. 172.96, 10/2021. And it dropped down to the 105, 106 level, and here it is trading at 113.95. Today's down $1.14. I happen to think if you're going to go for a call position. Oh, you do. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a moment because I have someone really important on the line. I have a person that we've all been waiting to hear from, and we've got Larry Pesavento. Larry, how are you?
Hey, Basil. Hey, thanks for setting in. I wanted to thank you for this information you give today. It's really incredible, the volatility we're getting. But I had a question for you. The fact that the Federal Reserve came out and sort of changed their, guidelines on what a recession is, from 2 quarters down to, well, it really doesn't mean very much based on the jobs report. I remember, Basil, back in 2007, and maybe you can help me here, Bernanke was saying the same thing. This was right before the big crash, and he said that he didn't see any red lights that would cause the economy to go lower. And a week later, we started a drop that went down 83%. Do you remember something like that, or is mine just?
Larry, I think that you could find quotes from just about every Fed chairman or chair lady to the same effect, because I know that everyone says the Federal Reserve is an apolitical body. I don't know if it's an uppercase A or a lowercase a, but that A should just disappear, because absolutely the Fed has no choice but to be part of the whatever administration. They have to be part of that administration, which makes it a political situation. They have to be aware of all the connotations. So I agree 100%. I've heard pretty much the same chatter. My whole thing is not the politicians, it's the media. And my complaint has always been, for for ages now. I don't know if you remember Jack Anderson. So Jack Anderson, I recall Jack. I remember him being. I wouldn't call him liberal, but he was more to the left in his reporting. But at least he did the homework, and he gave points of view. There are I don't know any reporters that I'm talking about the major network reporters that actually do that anymore. So at any other point, it would have been a scandal that the administration is trying to change rules that have been in place forever, even if the rules are just perfunctory, because once it goes to the second quarter of lower earnings, it doesn't matter if it's a recession or not. And I've been talking about recession. I'm showing the chart of JP Morgan right now. JP Morgan has been in a recession since October of 2021. It's gone from 172 down to 106. Don't tell me that's not a recession. And you can do that in the REITs area. That's the you can do that in the RTH, which is the retail index, or the XRT, the retail index, the semiconductors. All the major indices have been in recessionary mode. So to not give a full title is just silly, because the reality is, I think that we probably maybe 2/3, we could be even more of the whole recessionary aspect underway and almost completed. I think we're closer to some kind of, maybe not a major low, but at least some kind of really tradable low. Even now, we've had a pretty tradable low. But you can look at the financials. So, yeah, I agree with you that there's a slight distortion here, but it's the reporting by the reporters themselves that you'd expect any administration, and certainly any Federal Reserve chairman or chairlady, would kind of want to lean towards the thinking. I think in some respects, but Powell is a little bit more strict to his own rules. He sticks a little bit more to his own rules. I kind of like him for that. But yes, I agree. And our major thing is, how are you feeling, Larry? We've already missed you.
Oh, yeah. I've been, I've had a lot of, people passing away and stuff. And then Sarah and I both got COVID. We're recovering. So I'll be back next Monday, hopefully, with a little luck. So that's been a rough couple of weeks, but we're doing all right. Thank you for asking me, Basil. Yeah, thanks for sitting in. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's absolutely a pleasure. And really, to hear your voice, I think all of us have a big sigh of relief. You're sounding much better, although it's still scratchy. You take the time to get healthy. We need you back.
See you later, Basil. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for calling.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'll be right back, folks. Dow's down 50, S&P's down 7. I can take this out. Yep.
TFNN has been your trusted source of analysis for bonds, metals, stocks, commodities, and options for years. And we are happy to announce that we are bringing that same caliber of analysis for the Forex market. Teddy Keckstad has 30-plus years of experience in Forex trading, commodity risk management, Forex hedging, volatility, and so much more. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex report every Monday morning with elite coverage of all major currency pairs, including the DXY, Euro dollar, Pound dollar, Aussie dollar, dollar yen, dollar Swiss franc, and so much more. Teddy will recommend specific trades when the market presents them and provide updates throughout the week when warranted. For the month of July, inaugural members to the Tiger Forex Report will receive 25% off the monthly subscription for as long as they're subscribed. Just use promo code TEDDY25 to lock in the added savings. This offer is good only for the month of July, so do not miss your opportunity to save on the Tiger Forex Report. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hi, folks. Going back to Mike and the Tiger Institute. I would not choose an August 17th call from JP Morgan when it's one of the weaker looking stocks. That doesn't mean to say it's going to drop sharply, but it's just not showing the strength. If you look at in the financials, if you're looking at Morgan Stanley, say, look at that nice move from the 72 low to 84 today. To me, the 86 200 period exponential moving average, since it's only in leg B, that's much more enticing. I'm going to look at Bank of America, which we have. That's at 33.60. I can see a little bit higher. It's really, I wouldn't say it's struggling because it's not breaking down, but considering what the market's done, it is actually struggling. I like it because we've had Bank of America as part of our portfolio for years. We have it for a good long time, and then we get out of it, and then we get it again at the low end of the rung when it starts to pull back sharply. This time it's holding, but it's not really moving well. So I think that I would prefer, if you're in the area of the financials, I would prefer to see you go to something that has a much better chart formation. Let me just have a look at JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, WFC. Yeah, this has gone to DE. This could be F today. Let's see. Actually, this could be D. Oh, instant restart. This could be an F's. Yeah, this could be. I'll do it live. So this is a D right here. Within 2 bars, it makes uppercase because it's on the way up. It makes a new high, which means it can immediately get an alternate count, and that becomes E. I'm not going to put the /A because it's an alternate count. You know that it is. F/B, and then G/C. I always put in, because what happens there in the Chapman Wave Instant Restart is that if it's very quick and the MACD is still very strong, the 9 is still strong, and the 200 period, no, in this case, the stochastic's at 91.40. This shows that there's just enough strength to move higher, but it doesn't say it's got the, it needs at 43.64, this is Wells Fargo, it needs to get to the 44.80, 45 area to say 45.44 would be the 200 period moving average that it's trying to head to. So I think out of the ones that I've just looked at, the one with the best chart formation is Morgan Stanley. So if you're going to do an option, that's number one. Number two is, if you're going to do an option, I would rather be looking at an area that's showing, for instance, look at U.S. Steel. Yes, it is leg D, but isn't this a really nice cup formation, a beautiful up move? So on a pullback it's a 23.39. Consider, in other words, the buy mode. You've done this enough times. You know that in a buy mode, D is the objective. Well, it's already in leg D, maybe a peak D, so you have to wait for some kind of a pullback. But if you're going to, in other words, I'm making a big deal because this is not a stock that you can sit through for 3 weeks or 5 weeks even if it pulls back a little bit, and like, say, the Bank of America didn't go anywhere, that's fine. But if you're using a call option, that's a whole different risk entirely. So in that particular instance, I'd go with whatever is actually moving right now. I wouldn't get anything that's stuck. Even if your bigger thesis is that JP Morgan's going to move higher, and I think in the long term it will move higher, but the short term it hasn't shown the kind of leadership role that it used to do, and it hasn't done now. So in my webinar that's coming up, let me just see if I can go to the front page of TFNN. Front page of TFNN now. Okay, Goog. That's not what I want. Opening call. Let's just go to TFNN. Right there. Okay, good. Opening call. What we want is to go to, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, we're going to newsletters, and here we are. This is the opening call, and I think that Tommy said that it was up. I don't know if it's got the information right now. Okay, maybe it said, I should have had this already. Of course, I didn't have it ready because there's so many questions coming up. Opening call, front page. We'll go to front page, home. There we go, home. And it says home, 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 home on the range. There you are. Move that out the way. Oops, move that out the way. And there you are. So we've got Basil Chapman all-day webinar. August the 10th, Wednesday, August the 10th, Basil Chapman presented an all-day webinar session called Technical Tools Based on the Chapman Wave Methodology Explained Live, a detailed all-day online course with live charts. I'm going to be showing, studying and practicing entry and exit points. I want you to be able to get used to the vernacular, get used to the way look, our diamonds that we've bought so many times since the low. Look, what kind of techniques gave us the opportunity to be buying so that we are now in a very nice long-term position, both a very long-term position from way back here. This is the low of the 2023, March of 2020 low. We still have core positions from that we're holding. And why are we wanting to add? What are the reasons? How did we get into it? What's going on? How can you use that same thing? If I show a trading vernacular right now, there's your leg D in the 1 minute chart. All of this is going to be related to what I do. And I'll use the futures. I usually do use futures, but I usually use whatever is pertinent to what I'm discussing. So I could use, let's go to the TQQQ, which we are actually long. This is 3 times long, the QQQ. That's the index 100. Look, you could do the same thing here. Peak A. All you need to do is you check out 33.61, 33.59. So there's your peak A. There's your peak B, there's your C, there's your D, instant restart, A, B, C, D. We just had the same thing in the TQQQ. As a trade, look what you could have done. And I explained, look, there's the 200 period moving. There's nothing here that's a mystery. I talk about these all the time. 200 period moving average. There's your peak A, uppercase. There we go, uppercase on the way up, A, B, C, D. And within 3 bars, it's actually 2 bars, it breaks to a new recovery high. So you say, oh, that could be the Chapman Wave instant restart. That's the methodology. I will be explaining and showing that. I have a little booklet with all these different techniques. And now it goes E/A. I just continue the wave count, E, F. But because it's an instant restart, that G becomes a G/C, and you expect after a G/C, if there's still strength, it should go to a D, and then you can start a little bit of a pullback. And there you are, that's live. And not only that, you know that I'm going to grab the left side, the right side. I talk about the left side, right side price time match. Couldn't do this because it was all happening as I was on the show and as I was talking to Larry. Look, isn't this perfect? Look, there's your left side, the fulcrum, the Chapman Wave plumb line right there. And then I do. You don't have to have all these tools. I'm just using the tools that are on TradeStation. Some of you can't draw ellipses. That's not a big deal. You could do it with a V-shape pattern. Look at this. Left side, right side to the plumb line. And it came in 2 bars later. Did it get to the exact left side high of the 13 minutes past 10 o'clock at 34.12? Look at that. And now it's going even higher. It's extending leg D. I mean, this is live. I'll be back. Dow's up 63, S&P's up 9.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. So I just was able to arrange things. I think I'll be able to do the next hour. That's Larry Pesavento's hour. It could be a pleasure to be able to do that. I know that from my own perspective, and I know many of you do, you love the live stuff, all the shows of the hosts. It's really nice to be able to do. So this TQQ is now in leg T extending. So these are techniques that I'll be discussing. The question came up, will you be doing live trading? I have to think this through another day or two, because if I'm able to formulate my actual program, the techniques in such a way that I can get it through very quickly and very clearly, right at the beginning, I'd say yes, but I really don't want people focusing on a trade and not learning at all the techniques that got them into the trade. That to me is the most important thing. It's not the live trading. We can all do the live trading. It's being able to do it in such a way that it becomes absolutely clear. Like when Larry says we're going to go down to the 2/3 or whatever it is, 6.18, whatever level it is, and then you know exactly where it is. Mine is live all the time so that you don't know where the turn's going to be coming because you're doing it actually from the very chart that we're looking at. So in that particular instance, so that's what we were looking at. Let me just do this real quickly. I don't want to run out of time, but I'll have time for the next session as well. Zip wants to know about V, which is Visa. Visa's made a peak, did left side, right side, not quite a lopsided one. It went just above the previous high, above the 200 period moving average, and now it's stuck there. I think that it's holding very well. I think it's on an upside bias. It's starting to improve a lot in the weekly and the monthly, but it needs to hold 205. It's at 212 right now, and it needs by Tuesday or Wednesday, it needs to touch. I'd prefer if it closes over 215. Today's high is 213.09. Next question came out. Let's see, question here. EQT. Oh, that's the end of the show. EQT. You know what? I'll extend this. I'll do this into Larry's show. I'll do commodities as well, but I'll do this. So I'll be doing Larry's show, his hour, and I'll be back in a moment. I'll do the news until Larry's. Basil Chapman. Check out front page for my webinar coming up a week from Wednesday.